Here we are. Now look at the two characters. Now we're not going to draw these, but we're going to use them as an idea. You recognize the rabbit probably, right? And the tortoise. And he looks so sweet, doesn't he? But I'm going to show you how to draw these guys by breaking them down into shapes. A circle, an oval, a, a rectangle here, a triangle there, and I'm going to show you. And when we first draw these, in the very first stage, they're going to look like a little robot because they're going to look like just angles all over. And then we're going to make them into the characters that they are, okay? I have a regular white piece of paper, which is just fine, nice big piece. I like to use large paper because I deal with large crowds at schools and stuff, so they got to see what I'm doing. And I have a regular pencil with an eraser on the end of it, like so. I have my handy dandy color pencils in case I need those later, which is always in one. And also, I have a sharpener. I have an extra sharpener here. So let's get started, okay? I'm gonna put this down, and let's start with the tortoise first, okay? Let's go with the tortoise first. Now, the tortoise. Let's go to. Let's do this. I bet you everybody will like to do this. I'm going to put a dot in the middle of the paper. Put a dot right in the middle of the paper. You see that? See the dot? It looks like a little bug. Now I want you to draw this super light, this part, super soft, right? Because we're going to erase these later. Now what I want to do is I'm going to draw a line down from the dot and up from the dot. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just like that. Now I'm going to show you a technique here where you'll be able to copy almost anything you see. Anything, almost anything you see. You see the dot? I got the dot right there. Okay. And what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to draw a line across to the left and then across to the right. And I've got 4 squares. Look at that. By magic, we have squares. But I'll show you how important that is when we actually develop the tortoise, okay? Because we're going to do one for each one. So we're going to have him in here. I'm going to have the bunny over here, all right? So let's start, right? So everybody has their 4 squares, right? And again, we're going to be erasing this at the end. We won't need to show that at the end, all right? Now, I'm going to come over here to my paper. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw the dot here. Now, you don't have this, all right? But watch, I'm going to show you how I'm going to relate it, okay? This is what you would do with your sample, see? You make a box. So you make 4 boxes. Now, you don't have this, I know, but don't worry about it. But when you do have it, now you know how it'll work, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to relate everything to this. Watch. I'm going to how's my circle? Well, there's my dot. There's my dot, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a big oval, big egg-shaped oval right over the top of the dot. Okay? Just like that. This is the way you'll get everything to look just right. Okay. Up here, I'm gonna make a little hole right at the top there. Looks like an olive right now, right? Like one of those pimento olives with the little red pepper at the top there. Yes. Right there. Now this is a circle. This is a circle. So far, all we're using is circles, right? When we draw, we use approximately 4 shapes. One is a circle, a square, a triangle, and a cylinder. And then we have little variations on that too, like circle can become an oval too, or an ellipse when it's really squished like a pancake. Okay, but we're getting too far ahead there. Now we're going to make a cylinder. Now a cylinder, if you don't know what a cylinder is, All you have to do is wait till all the paper towels have been used on your paper towel tube. And the tube is what in art we call a cylinder. And we can bend that into all kinds of shapes. We can make fingers, toes, legs, arms, neck. Some people with really long noses. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually make little curvy, little curvy. Look at that. You see there? See, it's really not so hard to draw as it's, if you have to do is just learn some of the techniques, and you'll be able to do really, really well. And I loved it. When I was your age, I just loved to draw. I used to watch TV at night and draw with while I was watching television. It was so much fun. Now, let's take a look at what we've got so far. We are. Roughly about the same thing. And now we're going to do his head. Now his head is going to be circular. Okay, so I'm going to make a big circular head. Just on the top like that. Oh. But believe it or not, that dot is so important. And those lines, because you relate everything to where everything goes. See? Sometimes when I do murals, I actually sketch, I score what's called scoring the whole wall when I do it. And that's how easy it is to draw when you do that. Much easier. Much easier. I'm going to make two holes down here, represented by two little slits right there. Yeah. And I'm going to make a cylinder. Bend come out of that. And the bend come out of that. See and compare. See and compare. And this is the way you should have it when you draw at home. Try to have it right next to you when you're drawing. Now, some of my students, they show me things that they've traced. But tracing is only good the first couple of times you do something. You want to make sure that you only trace maybe once or twice. And then you have to what's called free draw it. That is, you put it next to it, and then you try to draw it. Okay. Now, what makes a cartoon are the eyes. So let's go hop up to the eye here, and let's make a cute little eye. I'm gonna make the little bridge on the eye, and then whoa, he's gonna have a big eye. He's having a good old time. And of course, he really gave the rabbit no care in the world, really. He gave the rabbit no care in the world. Rabbit thought, ah, this is gonna be a breeze. He runs so slow. And any of you who've seen Bugs Bunny cartoons, they also show this in the Bugs Bunny cartoon, which basically that bunny is Bugs, but the turtle has a secret weapon at the end. I won't tell you. There you go. You see how big it is compared to the head. That's what another feature makes it a cartoon, right? A cartoon. Okay. And underneath, I'm going to make a little crease or fold for his his beak. He's actually we call it a beak here, but you see there. These close-ups are handy. It's kind of like me being there right with you, except I can bring the page right up to you. You can use these shapes to draw us, humans, people, other animals, real people, furniture. My goodness. Under the sea. little smile on your thing. Just go around. Yeah, this is a little head. Now I'm using a little bit darker pencil, a little darker graphite than your pencil is probably. Um, Mine is close to a middle range darkness, but it's so that you can see what I do. Now the only problem with the middle range that I have with this is that if I want to erase something, it's harder for me to erase. That's why I say to you, as you're learning now, what you should do is think of light pressure and a very soft pencil graphite, like number 2. I wouldn't go anything above number 4 pencil, like an artist pencil. Number 2 is the best, HB or B, and that's good. Then when you get confident, then you can switch over to the darker. When you do a pencil in 2B, you finish it and you like it, you're not going to erase it. Then you can outline it again with the darker pencil. It's looking like our little guy already. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make just a funny little shape for his foot. He's got his little foot in here. And okay. Now, what we're going to do, okay. Now, let's do a little curvy line there, and we're going to make his little arms that come out like this. There's his little arms that come out. Mhm. And then we can make the little fingers on here. Now, if your little dot is in the way, You can erase your dot now. We don't need that anymore. You can put that in there and erase it. And there we go. There he is. Okay. Now I'm going to make a line coming down inside by his arm and under his leg. That's going to be part of his shell. Okay. See, I made it really dark. And don't worry about making mistakes, or if I do something and you say it doesn't look, don't worry about it. Remember, we're trying to practice, and we're not worried about it looking exactly the same as mine. All right, we're just trying to get it to look similar. So, and then, of course, there's this back here, carapace, right? And that's it. Those are 3 lines, pretty much next to each other, that all go in the same direction. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. I suppose drawing a tortoise would be really easy, because since they don't move very fast, they'd be great models, right? Maybe just walking very slow. Where's a rabbit? We might have a problem. I'm just doing a little cleanup in here, not adding anything more. And that little cross pattern in the back there, you can erase that if you want to. You can do it now or you can do it later, depending upon how your time is. All right. So remember, the last are that's called like a semicircle. And here, another one. That'll be the edge. And then on top of that, that'll be the shell. The shell has got all kinds of patterns on it. So considering the formula that we follow, circle, square, triangle, and a cylinder, let's see how many we have here, okay? We have almost a completed tortoise. So we have circle, kind of a circular for the eye too, cylinder for the neck, circular or oval for the body, circle for the shell in the body, cylinder, cylinder for the other leg, and a circular shape for, yeah. So how many circles, right? We did quite a few circles. They may not be perfect circles, but they're circular, and that's really what you want to pay attention to. The circular. I teach in the after-school programs of a lot of schools, and the kids get a kick out of the fact that we only use 4 shapes to create anything. So they're always trying to come up with a challenge for me that I'd have to use another shape. But it's not the matter of using one shape. We use combinations of shapes too. That's the good part. Like we use what's called overlapping shapes. You know, like a square will overlap a triangle or something. You know. I'm going to make little circular shapes again to make the toes of the tortoise. Okay. Here we are. Look at that. Now, at the end, when you take over with your eraser, it's called cleanup. That means you take any of the scratchy lines out, anything that bothers you that you maybe use as an aid to help you get through, but you don't need it for the finished product, right? Let's do it. So far, so good. All right. Mm. Now, since my turtle is touching the ground, we're going to have some sunlight in the sky here, right? Sun is going to shade down and then shine down, and we're going to put some shadows here. And what I'm going to do is we're going to have them touch the feet of the turtle. And then I take a little trick here, and I take my finger and I soften very softly, don't press hard, and make a little shadow. It softens all the graphite. You see? Ta-da. Just like that. Yeah, there we are. Look at that. Now let's go up to the sky here. So remember we were saying that there would be sun, right? First, let's put a couple of clouds in. Nice big clouds, like puffy clouds, circular type clouds like that. Right? I'll put a couple there and one here. I try to change the size of the cloud to make them look more interesting than have them all the same size. Sometimes I overlap them. Watch, overlap them, which makes your drawing look better. All right. Okay. Now, I think what we'll do is we'll have the bunny a little smaller in the distance because it looks like he's really running far away from him, right? And what I'll do, first clean my paper because I put my pencil in it. What I'll do is I'll have him so kind of in this shape. He's going to be looking over at him, right? And going fast go by. Eyes are really important when you do cartooning. They show the emotion of the character too. And let's do his mouth. That big mouth here. So far, there's the bunny's head, his mouth. His nose is going to be really tiny now, very tiny. I'll show you what's the dark part. The dark part of the face is here. You can see it clearly and draw it. There we are. There we are. See? Get his mouth in there, right? His mouth is on the side. He's kind of yelling out of the side of his mouth. His nose is there. And his upper lip is here, right? Looks a little bit confusing from there, but yeah, my pencil's not that sharp. I got to sharpen it. Make a sharp edge, you got to have a sharp pencil. So you got to need to do that, right? So then right above that are the two eyes. There's two eyes. Now, if you're used to making a rabbit a certain way, I want you to be creative and try your own rabbit. Definitely try your own rabbit if you feel it. I actually grew up with cartoons with Bugs Bunny, and my goodness, Roadrunner and Coyote. I love them. Because he's going so fast the other way, his ears are going to be bent back to where he came from. Yeah, see how close? Yeah. Yeah, there's a close up now of Bugs' head. Mhm. Yeah. His head is the most difficult part. Once we get the head done, it'll be easy to do the rest. And now the secret is to make sure that the shoulder is in the right position when he's running because it'll look like he's stiff and not truly running, right? See the way, see how strong those lines are for his arm right there. See his arm and his chest. Those two rectangular pieces, those are his teeth right there. Right there. That's it. He's really running. I'll tell you. Yeah. See the turn he makes, right? See that piece he makes right there, right? Of course. Right down here is where it's a big fluffy tail goes. Mhm. So we did change it a little bit. We took two ideas and we put them on one page to make one idea. Those are the challenges you can always look for too when you draw things. Say you have a photo of a giraffe on one page, and maybe you have a picture of a lion on another. You can put them together. I don't think the giraffe would like it. Now, I may not see the back leg on the other side so well because it is kind of blocked by his body a little bit. But don't you worry, we know it's there. We know it's there. So I did a straight line here just by accident, rubbing it lightly against the paper. Look how hard it is for me to actually erase that. It's hard to. That's why I want you to use a soft pencil for the drawing part. Okay, drawing pencils. No bugs. And we don't have to draw his other hand either because it's actually behind the tortoise. See, here's his other hand. Ta-da! Made him there. See? You know what's so fun about this? We can actually make this so that it looks like they're in a contest, right? So we can have the finish line all the way down the bottom. Ooh, back here. What's that? Scaffolding fall, really? That's not good. Yeah, that's not good. Now, boys and girls, what I'm going to have it look more exciting by not touching the shadow on the bunny's legs. I'm going to make it look like he's off the ground. So you can see this with a series of circles and cylinders and a couple of triangles for the tail for bugs. The poor turtle looks like he's just racing by the turtle. But what Bugs didn't know was that he went by so fast, he really didn't get a good look. But one of the stops during the race, Mr. Turtle went out for take a look at the back of Mr. Tortoise. What did Mr. Tortoise buy when he was out? What do you think? Take a look. Take a look. What did Mr. Tortoise buy and put on his back? What's going to make him run faster? It's a rocket. And Bugs doesn't know. Bugs does not know. Here we do a finish. F I N. Oh, yeah, we're so cool. Sitting on the steps uh, of my apartment house uh, just about a week or so before. What's that? All right. What I'm going to do here too is just to dress up the area in the back. This is where you get to play a little bit. I don't want to make trees to look perfect, so I can go up and down. You got to put the clock up here. Oh no, yeah, sure. We forgot the timer. I never knew that. I don't know what the distance was they ran, but the actual voice that is used for the turtle in the Bugs Bunny movie is very funny. He's always like this. I don't know if I'll win. Mhm. So you see, boys and girls, what you can do here is you can take two samples that we did, right? And mommy and daddy can help you with this. Sometimes you can get copies from online, and you can print out a nice picture of a, say, a giraffe or something like that. And then you may want to put a friend next to it, like a little rabbit or something, to make fun of the different sizes. And that'll work out too. But you see what we ended up with is totally different than what we just had, right? We have we have the tortoise, and there's the tortoise. He's just all by himself. But we have him actually looking at somebody in this picture. He's looking at him, right? And he's going behind him fast, very fast. And you know what? We can show speed too by doing the lines like Bugs's Bugs's speed is fast. You see what I did? I brought Bugs's speed up.
That looks so great.
Elena, I thought it was always a kick that poor Bugs, he decided to go so fast that he was absolutely sure that he was going to beat the tortoise. He forgot that the tortoise stopped off somewhere and got himself a rocket.
That is great.
And of course, he was completely infuriated. Bugs. He was like,
Nothing like Bugs Bunny, that's for sure. You're gonna add a little. You're gonna add a little color now too.
yeah, we can add a little color. Oh, by the way, I want to bring it to your attention here. That a fairly new brand came on the market just recently. Um, They're called Sargent Art, Sargent. This might not be for now, but it could be for the future. Um, these are really, really cool. I've tested them out this week. Um, they come in a 50 pack. They're reasonable. Um, they can be both a regular color pencil and a watercolor pencil too. They
Okay.
have they have the longevity of a watercolor pencil in them, which is good. Even in sunlight, they don't fade. But they can be used also as a regular. So you can combine the two supplies into one. You know, so it's called Sargent. They're called by Sargent Art 50 watercolor pencils, and they have every value in here, every tone, every semitone. The kids will never miss out on. Oh, my, it doesn't match exactly. This will, believe me. It says it looks like this, Elaine.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's that.
Thanks.
I have no stake in the product at all. I just want to bring it to your attention. Yeah. So, boys and girls, I hope you had a good time.
And so they're going to be able to color those on their own. Could you just give them, if any of them haven't been here for a
Oh, yes,
while,
yes. Yeah, let's
just give them a
take,
idea of how they're going to add the color with the watercolor
yeah. Now
pencil?
I have a whole bunch of colors here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll take one of my colors out, my blue maybe. How's that? It's always a good color for the sky. And this is a sky blue. Okay, sky blue. And what I can do is I can just start find the background, start putting in some pretty color here. I kind of go in the same direction, diagonally usually in the sky, and then horizontally when I do water or roads. See, can you see what I'm doing? And then I can switch off. Suppose I have another tone, another value, which is great, which could be a little darker. It's tough when you got big fingers trying to reach into the box. Okay. And then up here, this could be a little darker blue. Because you know the sky gets darker as we go above. Into the zenith of the sky, which is the zenith of the sky. There we go. So here, we go all through here. Um, our good old turtle, we can start with kind of a yellow green. That's a good alien color too. Reminds me of E.T., this guy, the extraterrestrial. So take a look, boys and girls. See so far what I've got. I've got some color going already on there. And one of the nice things about this pack too is definitely comes with a gray, which is in cases of certainly like if you do Tom and Jerry or you do Bugs Bunny, you need the gray for their fur. Um, in the background, a lot of variations in tree color, things like that. Here's notice now I go up and down because what I'm doing is I'm creating evergreens. See, evergreens. Ooh. Screw printer up there. There. That's okay.
I know we're running, close to time, so if you could just share it with the water. And then I will turn the recording off so then we can see the children's examples, okay?
Okay. Let me, I didn't know if we were gonna use water today, but,
I would just give like a swath of just, if anybody hasn't done the water, how they would add it to the color.
all right, 1 second. Let me,
Yep.
let me just get this here. Okay, so here I have a regular paintbrush, regular paper, and I put some water in my cup here. Now, let me bring this closer to you so you can see it a little bit easier. Okay, and you'll notice, you see how it liquefies the paint. Yeah, right in there. And when I do the turtle, his colors will soften too. See how bright? Mhm. These are handy. Because again, you don't have to carry around two type of pencils, which is good. I'll bring this around.
That looks great. Wow, it's so vibrant.
Yeah, it's amazing. It truly is. It's and see how we can fill in with the trees down here. See, fill in with the trees. Look how pretty the trees come. These are big evergreens in the background.
That's very nice.